guys? Welcome back to another week of Autastic, your comedian's guide to autism. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Kirk Smith, and I've got a co-host,
Graham K. Hello, everybody.
Boom.
Welcome back to another sweet sode of the Autastic podcast, the comedian's guide to autism. I have a brother with autism, Peter, that's his name, and Kirk has a son with autism, JJ.
Jacob Jerry, sweet boy with a giant head.
Pete's got a big melon too. I just realized something. Peter loves to be called Peter Parker Spider-Man. And
I remember.
JJ, J. Jonah Jameson.
What's that?
Oh, he's Peter's boss. Peter Parker's boss.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's yelling at him all the time.
Parker. Yeah.
That's funny. JJ. Yeah.
We're
He's
in
the villain of the story, kind of.
No, he's just the,
Well, he's the accidental villain. Nobody likes to be yelled at.
He's like the authority figure that when you're a little kid, you're like, these old people don't get it.
They don't understand. Yeah. And also, he might be the comic relief, too.
He's a bit of the comic relief. Yeah.
Yeah,
He never gets it, and he's befuddled. And it's funny that he's like yelling at this
Parker,
teenager who's...
take these pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can you not figure this out? You're a 50-year-old man and an investigative journalist. Whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple cracks in Spider-Man now that I think about it.
This documentary has some problems, sir.
Yeah. How's JJ doing? How's JJ doing?
Good. I had a call yesterday. I'm waiting for my call today. She should call any minute, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a good little conversation. Global warming is affecting Sweden, so they're still doing their walks. They're still able to do some walks outside. The weather's been cooperating. I'm over there in 3 weeks, and we had another update about his job. We're still following up with the job, trying to make sure that he gets one. He still doesn't have one, but we're still on that same warpath, still trying to make it happen.
There's an update. What's the update?
No, we had to follow up again with the lady. So it's a constant, the good man, the good lady. Good man means...
the good man who's a lady?
Who's a lady, yes. The good man who's a lady. It sounds very progressive.
We got to teach these Swedes about progressiveness.
Pronouns and stuff. Good luck with that.
Good person.
Yeah, they're probably the most progressive country in the world.
Yeah, I know. That's my little joke.
Speaking of, this is it's off too much off topic. Never mind.
He's doing well though.
He's doing well.
We're on the path to get a job. Have you talked to him recently?
I talked to him yesterday. We go through these peaks and valleys, and he goes through. Sometimes he's very uninterested in talking to me on the phone. I don't know why exactly, for various reasons, I'm sure, but sometimes he's very interested. And right now we're going through he's very interested in talking on the phone, where he's looking at me, and he's
that was last episode, and he's still doing it. It's still happening.
Still doing it. So
awesome.
We're probably 3 weeks into this. So I think it's good. I've got him his birthday.
Maybe he's just maturing, like his hormones are winding down, and he's like can focus more. Maybe. I remember I liked my dad more when I was older, when I started to get into my mid-20s.
Maybe.
I hated my dad until I stopped wanting to fight the world every day.
Yeah, you were a little fighter. I remember you got sent to a boarding school to do a little fight club. Yeah.
Still can't fight.
The first rule of Fight Club: learn how to fight. Graham's like, I don't know about that rule.
My best fighting story is when I ran away.
Run away! It sounds like a Monty Python sketch. I've got these new. Oh, I didn't show you this other one, but I bought him this other spinning. That doesn't matter. I've got his new birthday gifts coming up. It's December 2nd, so I did show you the stirring engine, and pretty neat little device. So I always say send your ideas, your gift ideas for JJ. Send them to me. I'm always interested. Always looking for little things he might like.
Mm-hmm.
Moving parts and lights are the two main things he enjoys. And VeggieTales, Barney, Bob the Builder. Oh, he's off Bob the Builder now. He's Thomas the Tank Train.
He's maturing.
No more Bob the Builder. He's not really into it. Oh, he still likes Blue's Clues, though. Still into Blue's Clues. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get him new stuff.
Yeah.
New stuff with like the same line.
Yeah,
the same genre is important. I'm trying to find, I'm still trying to find like
I was going to ask you, has Peter watched the new Buzz Lightyear thing? Sorry, I kind of cut you off. Sorry.
No, he hasn't.
It's very interesting. I enjoyed it. I know I'm not the target market, but actually, I saw it. Yeah, it was good.
How'd you
was
see it?
I saw it on a ship somewhere, or maybe it was on a plane. I've seen it twice now because I saw half of it and then this is traveling.
There's so many movies on a plane. You're like Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, but it was like, well, I've seen a lot. I've seen, not everything, but I've seen like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a flight 7 hours yesterday. 2 days ago.
If you watch, there should be a lot.
Tomorrow.
If you're just a single male, adult male, and you watch Buzz Lightyear 3 times, you should automatically be on some sort of registry. So what you watch yourself.
Yeah, you can't live 150 feet from a school. I know what it was. They showed it on the Lido deck, on the outdoor pool deck of a Carnival ship. They show movies, and they're usually, family friendly because everybody's walking around. And so I was walking by. I watched 10 minutes of it walking by, and I'm like, oh, this is what is this? And I was like, kind of got sucked in, and then I'm like, all right, now I got to watch from the beginning. That's how it was.
That's how it was. You're off the hook. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Those movies are good.
Well, they're clearly designed to appeal to kids and adults. Yeah, it's not just.
Yeah.
But would Peter like that? Because is he familiar with the original Toy Story, or what's his deal?
Well, he loves Toy Story, but he has a lot of trouble with like prequels and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the saga's complete. I remember.
Yeah, the new Star Wars just piss him off, and he ignores them. Yeah.
The new Star Wars is the best one. Rogue One might be the best Star Wars movie ever.
It's really good. Rogue One's really good, and I tried to explain to him that Rogue One is like, the people who found the plans to blow up the Death Star in the first movie, their backstory, and he was like, Graham, leave me alone.
The saga's complete.
The saga is complete. You're like, all right, dude, you're not wrong. We called Pete before because we haven't had an update. He hasn't been on an episode in a while.
It's been a while.
And I was like, well, let me call. Let me get consent. And I just did air quotes. Yeah.
On our audio podcast.
And I feel like when someone does air quotes in audio, you can hear them. Consent.
Yeah, the intonation and the pause, but it's still funny to make fun of people for.
No, for sure. And anyway, I called. I haven't talked to him in dude, I know last episode I said we haven't talked lately, and I think I've maybe talked to him once. I don't know if I've talked to him since, actually. And so I'm like, I got to call this guy. So I called him up before the podcast, and he was like, I'm busy.
Tell us exactly what he said, which is great.
He's like, I got to do my garbage job, which means his job that he does. So his part-time job is to walk around with gloves and throw loose trash that the garbage man. It's kind of a job my mom made up for him because she's the condo board association person, and people were kind of pissed off in the condo board that there's some nepotism going on, and her deadbeat son has some job that doesn't need to be done. Because what happens, the garbage men come, and it's it's not a gated community or anything, but it's like a condo, and so there's loose trash everywhere, and
there's loose trash when they empty the
when they empty it,
whatever,
the recycling,
flies away.
A piece of mail will fly away, or newspaper, or whatever, or just random trash from the city will blow because it's attached to it's part of the city. We'll just start, So my brother just cleans up around, and he does a great job. He's really diligent, and people just started to talk to him and realize that he's special needs pretty quickly, and everyone loves him there. Everyone loves him doing the job, and he's very diligent, and he does not miss a shift, and he does it once a week. And I called him, and he's like, I'm doing my garbage job. And Kirk was like, he hates his job already?
Which is oddly enough what I call my job too, my garbage job. But,
should we call him back, see if he's done, just to kind of, let's see how annoyed he gets. Oh, no. Anyway, he'll be pissed. It'll be funny, but he's the best. I'm really proud of him. He's so busy.
Make
he
sure
won't
you
talk
catch
to me.
it. Make sure you.
Yeah. We'll see. He won't pick up probably.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, how's the garbage job going?
I just started, but I'm a little bit shocked right now.
What happened?
Stupid Sergeant didn't take away Mom and Dad's recycled papers and compost.
Oh, they missed it.
Well, I think the compost was standing up inside with the recycle bins. I thought that was okay, but I guess that was a mistake.
Oh, so that the garbage men didn't take it because it was placed wrong.
Maybe.
That's okay. Well, you learned a lesson. I'm sure it won't smell too bad. It's out in the garage, and they'll come pick it up next week.
No, next week's is recycled papers. Recycled plastic, compost, and original trash.
No.
Production probably can't take more papers until another 2 weeks.
I'm sure it'll be fine. The garage is big enough to hold paper. Well, all right, I'll let you get back to your job. I just miss you, buddy. I haven't talked to you in a while. You've been so busy.
I just don't understand why the government didn't take away the trash. But I think the compost bin was standing up inside the recycle bin.
Yeah, you can't put the compost bin on top of the recycle bin. The recycle men don't like that.
Okay, it was just a mistake. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I know. All right, Pete. I love you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Yep, lots of stuff happening over there. Lots
Stressed
of drama.
out about the papers,
Absolutely shocked. I love the guy. He
My
is.
headphones fell out. I got so excited. Sorry.
He is Peter is the best. He's just the gosh darn best.
And
Anyway,
you miss him. All these years of his calls, and now you miss him.
I miss him. The guy. He's too busy to call me.
Huh? Look how the mighty have fallen.
I know. I know. I'm single and I miss my bro. He won't call. I need him now.
You went from I'm a busy man. I've got hip surgery coming up. I've got a girlfriend. Now you got nothing, no surgery, and you're bored.
I canceled my hip surgery because I've decided to go the physical therapy route. My surgeon
Big news.
agrees. And now I'm single. No, I got nothing. All right. Well, should we do an article?
Let's do an article. If I can figure out how to reduce my what's this called? The size of the screen. There we go. There we go.
I love watching a man we're doing FaceTime, and I just love watching. I'm looking at his face trying to figure out the computer. It's so funny.
You can see the wrinkles come out in my
Just
face.
a man
Computer,
in his
make
late
computation device.
in his late 40s. Now where
Computer,
is he?
pull up article that I liked.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
Take me to the internet. Take me to the web.
This is a new study came out, nature.com, scientific reports, and it's just a new study. It's not in the actual news, but it sparked a conversation between Graham and I and a very interesting condition or a very interesting fact surrounding autism. So the abstract is motor skills, such as, and I have to look up how the spelling is, dyspraxia and abnormal gait are characteristic features of the autism spectrum disorder. However, motor behaviors in adults with ASD has scarcely been quantitatively characterized. In this study, we aim to quantitatively examine motor signatures of adults with ASD without intellectual impairment using markerless visual perceptive motion capture. 82 individuals, 37 with ASD, 45 with healthy controls, HC, with an IQ greater than 85, aged 18 to 65, performed 9 movement tasks and were filmed in 3D infrared camera. The anatomical models were qualified via custom-made software, resulting in kinetic parameters were compared between individuals with ASD and HC, which is healthy controls. Furthermore, the association between specific motor behaviors and the severity of autism symptoms, parentheses, autism diagnostic observation schedule 2 and autism spectrum quotient were explored. Adults with ASD showed a greater medial lateral deviation while walking, greater sway than normal, tandem and single leg stance, a reduced walking speed and cadence, a greater arithmicity of doing jumping jack tasks, and an impairment manual dexterity during finger tapping tasks compared with the healthy controls. Furthermore,
It sounds like how you play basketball.
Oh, you son of a gun.
I got you.
I'm killing it out there.
Oh,
Killing
I
it.
got him, folks.
Furthermore, as the ASD group, some of these parameters correlated moderately with the severity of ASD. Adults with ASD seem to display a specific motor signature in this disorder affecting movement timing and aspects of the data. Aspects of the balance. The data appear to reinforce knowledge about motor signs reported in children and adolescents with ASD. Also, quantitative motor assessment via visual perception computing. That doesn't even sound like a sentence. It's all nouns. Okay.
Maybe somebody with dyspraxia typed this out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a feasible instrument to detect subtle motor skills in ASD and perhaps suitable in the diagnosis of ASD in the future. Now, this is a lengthy article.
Yeah. Sounds like it's got a lot of hard words.
Yes.
It's like a lengthy article with no punctuation and a bunch of words Kirk's never read before. Another fun thing about watching this on FaceTime is just seeing Kirk read large words he's never read in his life. He's never heard of in his life.
Not even close.
The eyebrows are going up and down so much.
Listen, you've got a failed college athlete reading a scientific journal. I feel like your expectations are too high. I can read, which is the win.
Well, it's better than I can't read. So I have dyslexia.
That was a tough one.
Words really jump around.
This is a tough. So it goes through the method. It goes through the quantitative motor assessment. It goes through there's figures drawing out the
we don't need any of that.
Motion captures work, the statistical analysis. It goes through the formulas on the findings, with n equaling 37 and the average mean plus or minus standard deviation of 36.9 plus or minus 1.7 years. 18 females for the healthy control. N equals 45. Age equals. So I mean, it's very robust. There's dozens of charts, dozens.
Where is this article?
Nature.com. And I thought I sent this to you, but you definitely now have it. Graham's like, I don't need to see it. Just read it, Kirk. And I'll
you read it.
Just
your
fair
turn.
enough. Conclusions. Our results indicate that adults with ASD without intellectual impairment, so they've eliminated intellectual impairment because that could have a whole different, specifications and ramifications. And my son would be in the intellectual impairment group. So he's got other things going on too. So the results indicate that adults without intellectual impairment or with ASD and without intellectual impairment show a specific motor signature compared to healthy control related to movement timing and posture control and possibly manual dexterity. The data specifically specify knowledge from critically descriptors of motor functions ASD. 3D video analysis appears to be a feasible instrument for a simple and quantitative assessment of multiple motor functions in ASD in patients with ASD with potential use for research and clinical context. So basically, we've always talked about there's no real way to tell who has autism. There's no scientific test. But I feel like as this podcast has moved along, what are we, year 6 here? We're getting closer and closer. Like this is a real way. Hey, walk on this little in front of these cameras for 16 steps, and we can tell you if you're probably have autism, which is like progress. I feel like at least knowing what you're working with and the help that you need is half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Graham?
Oh well, I'm just thinking of my brother. Obviously, this is he has all those things. He walks differently. I've said this before on the podcast. We've talked about this before, but like he can't jump. His vertical is like 1 inch. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's in JJ's too. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's not. It's. I feel there's definitely a correlation. I know I was thinking about comics that I know who have, as an adult, been diagnosed with autism, and posted about it, and they're very funny, and we always knew that there was something different about them.
But honestly, sometimes I feel like that helps them to have a different point of view, which helps in comedy. And I feel
100%. That's one thing I was going to say.
People are drawn.
Yeah, there a lot of really good writers for television are stand-up comics who have a weird stage presence and wrote. They were always the comic when we were coming up. We were like, we love watching them because they write the best jokes.
Great jokes.
And we love good jokes that nobody. I love to see we love to see comedy that the audience couldn't do if they devoted their life to comedy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and unique points of view that haven't been done.
Yeah, and it's like they have unique points of view anyway, but they these people I'm thinking of, they get jobs as writers, and they do walk very differently. One guy in particular I'm thinking of would always hold one of his arms like it was in a sling, but it wasn't in a sling. And just sort of like, and it's like he's in a hunch always, and this is before he said he had came out. He did a test and figured.
Can you say who this is, or you're not supposed to say? Or
I mean, he came out. I mean, I could say it's. I just don't want to seem like I'm making fun of him or anything like that. But he made a big post about it. Mike Lawrence. He's.
I was thinking the same guy when you described him. I was gonna say that was Mike, but I didn't want to say that because I'm like, yeah.
But there's a few other people like that for sure that I haven't made a big deal about it on social media, so I don't really feel comfortable talking about it. But Mike Lawrence is a great guy, super funny. You always think I always thought that he was like people thought that he was kind of mean, but then when you talk to him one-on-one, he's like the nicest guy in the world. It just turns out he was on the spectrum. He's not mean.
I gave him a ride once. We were at the either the store or the Improv. It's back when we lived in LA, and I had a spot. We both had a spot at the Ice House, and so I'm like, we're just kind of, you know what? I think it was the West Side Comedy Theater, and then we're going to the Ice House, which is like a good.
That's a long drive.
30 miles. I don't know. But I'm like, oh, I'm going. You can ride with me, and we had kind of a talk, and it was a little. We talked about my son, and and it was like a little, just the way he converses, a little unusual, but it's very funny. And then, but we talked for a freaking hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. It's a long drive. And so then I saw him next at, I don't know, like a week later at the comedy somewhere else. And I'm like, hey, Mike. And he's like, hey. And I'm like, oh, he's clearly on the spectrum. Like, because I just gave you a free ride for an hour and 10 minutes. And like, we had like a really heartfelt talk about him living in Florida and working at McDonald's all these years. And so it'd be the more traditional approach. But hey, nice to see you again. Thanks for the ride. Whatever, anything. Just not like, all right.
Yeah.
So it's just like.
Well, he used to have this. We should have known he had autism. He had this joke. Before he figured out he had autism, because he used to work at McDonald's, like you
for
said,
10 years.
Yeah, if you named any month in those 10 years, he could tell you what the Happy Meal toy was.
Right.
And that was like a joke he had. He'd like go to the audience. They'd be like, April 5th, 1996, or 2006, or April 2006. He'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Micro Machines.
Transformers.
Yeah.
You have this encyclopedic knowledge of like all these different little things, and but yeah, and his point of view is often very, very direct. And he's a big man. He's built like my son. Honestly, he's like 6'2", maybe.
Yeah.
235, 240, just a big dude.
Yeah.
And so it comes across a little more not menacing, but it's like it's not, it comes across not a little mean. And then when you talk to him, you're like, oh, this is just he's just
a sweetheart.
trying to communicate.
Yeah, and he's very smart too.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Like I said,
which is also people find intimidating.
A little, if you're a little harsh and smarter than them, then it comes across. It's funny because I'm sure was bullied just based on the way our interactions. 100%. But he could come across like he's a little bit of a bully, where he's like in the comedy thing, where he's smarter than most people and bigger and funnier.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of success, and so it's like, it's funny. Sweetheart of a guy.
We should send Mike this
episode
and be like, hey, dude, we talked about you.
Hey, we're thinking about you, buddy. I hope you're doing awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth.
I hope he doesn't.
I hope he's doing great.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a sweet guy. I'm not shitting on him all. He's great.
But anyway, he's just an example of dyspraxia association.
And I would kill for his career.
Yeah. Yeah, you're watching children's movies on a Lido deck.
On the
He's
Lido
writing for
deck of
TV.
a Carnival cruise ship, and he's
Yeah.
making twice as much. Has a house in L.A. Yeah, he's doing great.
No,
He's
you're
doing great.
doing great. You're doing great.
and
You're
he-
making a bunch of money doing stand-up, something you love. It's great.
And the other thing is, he deserves it. He's very funny. He
Yeah.
found his thing, like a lot of people with autism, and he loves it, and he invests a lot of time and effort into it, and he's very successful.
Well,
I'm in New York. If you can hear
those
that honking.
horns, let us know it's
That's-
time to go, everybody.
Wrap it up, Kirk. You're talking
Subscribe
too
to
much.
our Patreon. Donate at patreon.com/autastic. And donate to us $1 or $5 per ep. You, as a Patreon member, as always, get nothing. But you get the satisfaction of helping two idiots out to keep doing this podcast. We don't make any. What do we get? Like we make like nothing basically off this.
$20 each a month. 25.
Yeah, $20 each.
I don't
Our
know.
Patreon's way down. A lot of people have unsubscribed.
Yeah, a big month might be $60 each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the thing is we're doing less episodes, but we're trying. It's just a lot of travel. It's been tough.
A lot of travel. Yeah, we're doing less episodes, that's for sure. Anyway, guys, if you haven't already, watch my comedy special on YouTube. If you like this podcast at all, if you listen to it regularly and you haven't watched my comedy special on YouTube, do me a favor. You're going to like it. It's youtube.com/Graham K Comic. It's also called, if you want to just look up the name, it's my name, Graham K, live in a bowling alley. Check it out. Oh, also, Dallas. I'm going to be performing in Dallas since I canceled my surgery. 9th and 10th of December. Also, I'm going to be performing in Toronto. I have my own show in Toronto on December 28th. That is at the Comedy Bar's Danforth location.
And if you're listening to this in the future, 2022 are these dates.
Yeah. So if you ever get time travel, you want to go back and see some jokes. I'm trying to develop a new
jokes. Yeah.
show based on autism. I'm developing that. So it's usually people have come to see me in the past from this podcast, and I'm not like talking a lot about autism. This one, I'm going to be talking at least half the show about autism. So come check me out, folks. Kirk, got anything?
Yeah, I say this a lot, but I'm trying to do a big social media push. We all are. We're trying to, at least I'm trying to get away from some of these other gigs I'm doing and draw a little bit. So it really helps me out and helps out the algorithm. If you would follow me on Facebook, yes, Facebook. A lot of people still use it. Facebook, Kirk Smith Comedy. Instagram, hit that follow button. It's free. And YouTube, and just subscribe. I post these little videos. Free content, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps move the needle for me when I have a conversation with an agent. It looks like I have fans.
Do the same with
So,
me, please.
I'd really appreciate
All
it.
tickets are at grahamk.com.
Have a great week, guys. You can do it.